my wife says I better stay away from places like that. I got two batteries for camping. So,
True, true.
uh,
All right. Thanks, man.
thanks, Jordan.
So that was Richard Altazer. He is an activist and resident down in Wyoming County. And, a lot of times I think, well, YouTube does not like these stories, as you can see by the amount of viewers we have on YouTube. They don't recommend it. It's not sexy, it's not conflict or scandalous enough or hot takey enough. But what I try to show you with
Thank you for
every one of
calling
these
Status
stories is
Coup
that this
Call
is
In.
not just about
In 15 seconds
this
or less,
particular.
please state your name and the topic you are calling about after the tone, then press the pound key.
My name is DJ Elf7. I actually have been working on environmental issues here in New York, and I have some things I can talk about regarding this case going on in West Virginia.
Thank you. You may listen to the show while waiting. A beeping noise will indicate when you are on with the host.
9-782-8871. I will, but please, please, I'm open to talking about a lot of things. I don't, the people that call in for these random topics like, what I think of solar gardening or some shit, keep it somewhat topical. 2024, others, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I don't know your name, but Elkins, West Virginia. You there?
Hello? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
How you doing?
My name's Richard. My name's Richard, by the way.
Hey.
I just been watching. I watched your show for a while, and what I've seen, the West Virginia part of your show. I didn't grow up in West Virginia. I lived here for about 32 years, and I used to hunt and do a little fishing near East Palestine. I grew up in Stephenville, Ohio, which is just
Okay.
down the river from there. So I'm pretty keen to these issues you talk about, and they've been going on for a long, long time. My dad worked with Union Pittsburgh Steel. Then they had all Weirton Steel. Then you had all the paint companies up and down the Ohio River. They've been dumping for years, for decades. Forever chemicals in there. But I see West Virginia. I've hunted in West Virginia for 32 years. I did a lot of hunting, natural forest and on private land. And what in West Virginia? Because a lot of the streams on private land with the coal companies. Coal companies ruined everything. You go down Clay County, you go down Nickel, you go down Logan County, southern part of the state. It's all bad. You got a person like Jim Justice. He's just a complete scumbag. But my point,
yeah.
I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep you on the phone, making you busy because you got other callers. Is I sometimes I look at all this and put it in a nutshell, and I blame a lot of it on the people. I've tried to do things. You can't get nobody to. You can't get none of these people in the state I live in Randolph County. And you can't get West Virginia, Randolph County to middle part of the state. And you can't get none of these people to stick together. It's so corrupt. So corrupt, Jordan. You got the good old boys. You got Logan County. Tomlin ran it for years. Jim Justice down there. The dude ain't never worked a hard day in his whole life. Spoon-fed golden boy. It's just so good old boy. And these coal mines run everything. You guys can't get the people to do anything. They won't stand up big enough. And I don't know what the problem is. And they're scared. But I think that's a lot of the problem. These people just don't want to stick together. But that's what I see growing up in the area of Stephenville. That was
Okay, we'll see if we get we'll see if they can cover me. We'll see. This is it's possible not. We're gonna see what happens though. I do have relevant things to say about this topic.
I really do have sympathy for these people, but West Virginia is a nightmare. It is so damn corrupt. And I don't think you could ever fix West Virginia. Other places, maybe, but West Virginia, it's a lost cause. These people, they vote Republican. and I don't vote. I'm an independent, but Republicans, I mean, they'll eat their own. I mean, anything for a business, and it's just these people get ate a lot. My boy,
Yeah.
he, lives in West Virginia. They don't pay nothing. There's no jobs. The coal mines. I mean, you guys know somebody's brother to get in. But anyways, I just thought I'd give you my opinion a little bit. I watch your show. I think you're doing an outstanding job. But West Virginia, buddy, good luck on that place, buddy. You got a lot of work there. But you take care, Jordan, and I hope
You
to see you
too.
the best.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I think also, before I take the next caller, I think people need to understand, because I see the comments, I read them. People saying, well, you get what you vote for, or you deserve it because you voted for Trump. I think people need to realize it's easy to say that, and it feels good to say that, and it feels good to sound, you should have known better. This shit's happening under Republican presidents and under Democratic presidents. It's happening under Republican governors and Democratic governors. Hell, go talk to the people of Flint. They were through the moon excited when Republican Governor Rick Snyder was leaving office. He's the one that presided over their poisoning and covered it up. And what happened? Governor Gretchen Whitmer comes in. She makes a lot of promises to the people of Flint. She doesn't keep one of them. They still don't have clean water in Flint. She promised she was going to reopen the free water stations that residents depended on. Didn't do that. Flint happened under Obama. He didn't declare a disaster. He declared a state of emergency, but not a disaster declaration. A disaster declaration would have meant the Army Corps of Engineers coming in. They would have dug up those pipes very quick. It's 10 years later. They still haven't replaced all the pipes. 10 years later. We could look at East Palestine. Sure, it's a Republican governor. Biden's president. What has he done? Nothing. His EPA is helping Norfolk Southern cover it up. So sure, Trump, when he was president, he did deregulate, especially environmental stuff, which plays a part in this kind of stuff. But let's not pretend that, if Trump wasn't president, this wouldn't happen in West Virginia. It's not about who's the president. It's about we have a fucking government that's been purchased on the federal level, on the state level, on the local level, and industry is running the show. Whether it's mining, whether it's fracking, whether it's the auto industry, whether it's the steel industry, it doesn't matter. So you got to get out of this mindset that you voted for Trump, or you voted for Biden. That's a lazy, easy take, but this stuff is going on regardless of which party is in power. All right, let me take the next one. Caller from New York, DJ.
Jordan, nice to speak with you, man. I really appreciate this. Now, just so you know, the water here in New York City is also compromised. You could look it up. They have lead pipes that they're using, and it's ridiculous. Now, let me tell you about how to get change here. Now, the fact is that you guys are writing these legislators not responding. Why? Now, the fact of the matter that here in New York City, New York State, the voter data list is open to the public. And I believe in Virginia, it costs $500 for you to get access to the voter list. What should happen is that you guys can work with other other groups that are interested and share this information. And you could do a rally, but those are mostly for photo ops. 10% of the people may be voting. Go door to door and find the people that actually vote and get them to change. Another thing that happens is that here in New York, the judges are assigned by the county committee. But in Virginia, I believe that you guys have, West Virginia, I believe that you guys are having elections for judges. You want electoral reform, you want judicial reform, you need to have the judges on your side. So you really need to mobilize specifically for judges for a long-term solution. The thing is that I have to tell you that another thing you want to do is you want to create allyship with other groups. But here's a problem, right? I actually work with the disabled community, and the disabled community is so often left behind. Right now, the mining companies are actually making a big push to try to work with Mark Zafman, who's actually worked with the deafblind. What happens is that I know that you are victims, but you have to find other victims like the wrongfully incarcerated, people with disabilities, and really find a way to work together. You could say, oh, look, I'm a victim. You got to find the other victims and work together and have real solidarity. And I want to just shout out Jordan. I know we don't always see things eye to eye. Thank you for having me on. But what's really cool about today's program is you're actually listening to victims. A lot of times they bring in these experts, and before you guys were talking about the water testing, let's be honest, right? The mining companies do a lot of testing, right? Yeah, and the thing is that they have a relationship with the testing companies. So you got to often get your test done out of state because you cannot trust how many water testing companies are in the area. How many contracts do they have with the contractors that are incentivized not to give you a certain solution? You get what I mean? So you have to really get to.
In East Palestine, it was Norfolk Southern doing the testing at first, and they had a contractor doing the testing for them, who was known as the fucking corporate cleanup crew.
Exactly. After
the BP oil spill, this company was saying, "Oh, the Gulf is fine." They're known as just a company that says whatever the hell the company wants to hear, and then the EPA's doing the testing, and we exposed that they don't even have the equipment. They're not even using the proper equipment that could find lower level of contamination. They were only using equipment that could find, levels of contamination you'd find in like a factory or something.
So thanks for listening to the victims and not the experts. That's where your program is different from the others, and I want other people to realize that and recognize that and ask other media programs to start doing the same thing. Stop letting them run their stupid experts out here because they all sold out. Otherwise, they wouldn't be allowed up here. And just like Jordan's doing on this channel, and support real media channels that is having actual victims and listening to them. Thank you for your work, man. Absolutely. God bless.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Yeah. And that is something I have done my entire career and will continue to do, even though, frankly, it doesn't help with YouTube's algorithm. I'm not interested in going places and talking to experts. Of course, at times, I will talk to an expert, but experts usually have connections and conflicts. I want to talk to residents. I want to talk to activists. I want to talk to the people who are actually living and breathing it. Literally. I met a lady in West Virginia, literally has lost her voice because she is inhaling this horrid smell from the water. She didn't tell me that. I smelt it. I was at her house. It stinks. The contaminated water flooded her garage. You could smell the contamination inside her bedroom. She's been smelling that for over a year. I don't know what the hell she's inhaling. There could be contamination from coal mining in there. There could be contamination from gas wells. There's white stringy shit in the water. There's green fungi. They told me that their cats used to meow no more. And you can't get the government to respond. This would not happen I don't know West Virginia that well, but
it's happening in New York too.
Which is a city.
It's happening in New York too. Gavin Centrone just died at Reese houses when they found soil tests found conditions worse than 9/11. This is happening nationwide.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks for your work. I'll be sending an email soon.
And by the way, before you go, have you heard one person on the news when that bridge collapsed in Baltimore mentioned there was a lot of hazardous shit on that ship that went into the water there?
I never knew that until right now. Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, there was about 70 stacks of hazardous material on that ship. It leaked into the water. I'm emailing right now trying to get, like in this case, I actually want to talk to experts to know what leaked, and I don't know that waterway, so how many people get water from there? But the media doesn't care, and they covered the earthquake last week in New York, New Jersey. Not one mention.
Oh, one more thing I want to mention is that a lot of these groups, these not-for-profit industrial complex, these mining companies, they have relationships with the press. They will invite the press to their end-of-the-year soirees, stuff like that. You cannot expect fairness, and you got to start developing your own relationships with the press. You're actually, and once again, props to your work in being outstanding in this way. But other people have to start demanding more from the media, and if they just accept what's sold to them, then they're going to get what they deserve.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ben. Got to go to the next one. Take care.
Thank you. Well, that was pretty good. So we're going to send the email to Status Coup, and we're going to see if we could develop a further relationship. What's really good, yeah? We're going to see if also we could get presidential candidate, what's her name? Susan B. Hockey on the call, but with pretty